Alright, how's everybody doing today? Back again on another video for you guys and gals. And this time we're testing out the front-facing 5 megapixel camera on the Redmi 5 Plus. This one is being recorded at 1080p, 30 FPS. And just gonna talk for a little bit, let you guys know about my experiences, then we're gonna wrap it up. And one interesting thing that I find kind of funny about this camera, at least with the stock camera app for the front-facing camera, you can only record in 1080p 30. There's no other options to maybe bump it down to 720p, maybe 480p. No, with the stock camera app, you can only record in 1080p 30. My mistake. So yeah, now you do have a whole bunch of photo stuff you can do with the front and the rear facing cameras, including with the rear facing cameras you can record all the way up to 4K. Wow, that bird was loud. And you can do 720p 120 frames per second slow motion with the rear facing camera, but you're only limited to 1080p 30 with the front. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. And one more thing I want to say before I get into my experience with the device so far is please let me know what you think of the stabilization as well, because I'm using the newer R smartphone rig, and this is in portrait mode orientation. So yeah, I just wanted to check this out, and I'm using the Fantasil grip to stabilize all of this. But yeah, now let's get into my my first impressions and my experiences so far. So when did Sunday? I got this guy on Sunday, and so as of the recording of this video, it is now Thursday. So you guys will probably see this next week, Monday. So I would have owned the device for a little bit over a week. But so far with my testing and what have you, this is turning out to be a really, really solid device. I'm really enjoying the cameras. I'm really enjoying the battery life. Funny thing, I haven't actually finished my full discharge and recharge because we got a big 4,000 milliamp hour battery in this guy. So I think I've charged it and discharged it 4 times. So I got one more time to do that, and then I can really get into my style of usage, and we can start using this bad boy, however we want. But so far, my experience with the device seems to be really, really good. That being said, I do have some gripes with the software. Now, granted, I did my research and I knew what I was getting into before I picked up the device, but it's a little jarring. And coming from stock Android, it's kind of like a relearning experience. And it's kind of weird because things are not where my head wants them to be. So like when I need to do something like reconfigure the buttons or change the display size or what have you, it's all in different locations. And even changing the font size and the text is in a different location, and it sends weird signals to my brain because, okay, I'm just used to jumping into stock settings, going into display, and then everything I need is right there. Well, if I go into display, certain stuff is there and certain stuff is in another area. So it's been a little jarring, and there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. But it is what it is. When you pick up these devices from overseas, you got to be ready for that transition. And on that note, like I already said, this is a really good device. Xiaomi, I don't know if they're ever going to see my videos. Just a small YouTube content creator. But Xiaomi, if you guys ever, take this hardware and match it up with stock Android software, and I don't mean like the A1. Yes, I know the A1 is an Android One device, but I mean this device in particular, this big 5.99-inch display, 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and these cameras. If you guys could match this hardware up to a stock Android experience, oh, that device would sell like hotcakes. And who knows, after I do my coverage on this device, I may pick up the Mi A1 and see how it performs, because Xiaomi is in love with these internals, and the Mi A1 pretty much has the same internals as this guy, just a smaller display at 5.5 inches in the 16:9 aspect ratio, whereas this one is in the 18:9. It has a 1,000 milliamp hour smaller battery with 3,000 milliamps, but it has the stock Android software, the good cameras, and the IR blaster, which is a feature I'm very happy to see return. But yeah, I don't want to make this video too much longer. Again, this was a front-facing 5 megapixel camera test on the front-facing camera on the Redmi 5 Plus. Please let me know what you think of the overall quality of the video, what you think of the audio, all that good stuff down below. And let me know, do you guys have Xiaomi devices, Redmi devices? If so, let me know what your experience has been with them. Because so far, my experience with the Redmi 5 Plus has been pretty good. Pretty good indeed. And, talking about the data coverage before we get out of here, it's been okay. It's been okay. I went out to the beach a few days ago with the family. I got full reception with no issues. Now, as I've already stated, I stay in the middle of nowhere, so my coverage is pretty spotty. But pretty much once I leave the house, I have full coverage, full LTE service. It's only been super spotty when I'm in the house. So yeah, that's a little gripe there, but I pretty much knew that was going to happen already, because this guy doesn't have all of the global LTE bands, even though it's a global device. But that being said, I'm still getting LTE with T-Mobile because it only works on GSM carriers. And so far, so good. And I'm reserving full judgment for that full review. Have a good one, everybody. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.